Hello. So this is called the Nutcracker, and it's also very popular ballet, and it's also I believe it's a Disney movie that recently came out. So if you haven't seen the ballet or the movie, you should really check out those things. I haven't really seen the Nutcracker the ballet, but I did see the Nutcracker the movie. Very good special effects. Okay. So there are the two children sitting on the steps. And here we go. Christmas Eve, no other evening is so exciting, as I'm sure you'll agree. Marie, who was 7 years old, was eagerly awaiting the magic of Christmas Eve. She and her older brother Fritz had been listening to the comings and goings and strange noises from the living room all day. Fritz had even spied a dark, hunched man coming from the living room. This could only be their godfather, Papa Drosselmeyer. Beautiful illustration. Okay. At last, after a whole day of listening and waiting and nearly bursting with excitement, Marie and her brother were allowed into the living room, and what do you think they saw when they came through the door? Why, just the most beautiful, shining Christmas tree that ever was. That really is pretty. Little candles twinkled on the branches, and there were little toys and candies and ornaments, too. Oh, how marvelous! Marie exclaimed. Fritz jumped up in the air and hollered, "Stupendous!" And what was over here? A wooden horse for Fritz, who simply adored horses, and a whole new set of soldiers for his army. For Marie, there was a new doll. Marie immediately named her Clara, because no doll should have to go very long without a proper name, and the most beautiful dress in all the world, with colored ribbons and buttons. A picture of a castle. And then Papa Drosselmeyer came into the room with a splendid surprise. A wonderful castle with golden towers and sparkling windows. And there was a tiny Papa Drosselmeyer, no taller than your finger, which appeared at the castle door, going out and going in again. The grown-ups oohed and awed over the castle. Marie, who was a polite little girl, thanked her godfather for the castle before going to play with her new doll. There's the Nutcracker. Marie was just bending over to pick up Clara when she spied a little man under the lowest branches of the tree. "Father, whom does that little man belong to?" Marie asked. "He is a Nutcracker, and he belongs to everyone. Let me show you what he can do." Father picked up the odd-looking man. He put an almond between the little man's teeth, and crack! Pieces of the shell fell away, and Father handed the nut to Marie. "Wonderful," she said. "He is an absolute, adorable little man." "Well," said Father, "since you love him so dearly already, I will place him in your keeping. Of course, you must share him with Fritz." "Oh, I will," said Marie as she hugged the strange wooden man. Marie put only the softest and smallest nuts in the Nutcracker's mouth. She did not want to ruin his big smile or his wide, white teeth. It's a very nice illustration. It's a drum and a bell. Wow, look at all those mice. I guess technically they're rats in this story. There's a blue slipper. There's the Nutcracker, some soldiers. Soldier with a cannon. As Marie turned to go upstairs to bed, the tall grandfather clock chimed the midnight hour. Then the strangest thing happened. Marie heard strange squeakings and clatterings behind her. She spun around and could it be? Hundreds of mice, okay, they're mice, were pouring out from under the sofa and chairs and from between the cracks in the doors. Then a terrible rumbling shook the floor, and up came a giant mouse king with 7 heads, and on these heads were 7 gold crowns. "I've come for the Nutcracker, and he will be mine," he shouted. Nutcracker leapt from the glass cabinet, leading Fritz's toy soldiers. The army fought bravely, shooting gumdrop cannonballs at the awful mice. Shouting. Okay. But the Mouse King suddenly sprang at the Nutcracker. Marie shouted. She threw her left shoe into the fray and hit the Mouse King right on his many heads. He ran away with the other mice. Well, Marie fainted right then and there. Another beautiful illustration. Marie awoke in her own bed. Had it all been a dream? She looked up and saw Papa Drosselmeyer smiling gently at her. "I have something for you, my dear." And do you know what it was? Why, it was Nutcracker. And he was mended. His teeth were straight and his jaw worked perfectly. Marie hugged him tightly. She had tears in her eyes as she thanked her dear Papa Drosselmeyer. That night, Marie couldn't sleep. Just after the clock chimed midnight, she heard strange sounds. Clanging and crashing from the living room. From a terrible squeak. Then a knock on the bedroom door. Then a voice crying, "Marie, open the door. I have wonderful news." Marie recognized the voice of the Nutcracker and let him in. "I have defeated the Mouse King," Nutcracker exclaimed. "It was you who gave me the courage to defeat the nasty creature. To thank you, I wish to give you these." He handed her 7 tiny gold crowns. Marie clasped her hands with delight. "I must tell you, dear Marie, that I am really a king," said the Nutcracker, "a king of the most wondrous land in all the world, Toyland. And now, will you join me as I travel to my kingdom to celebrate the happy occasion?" Marie could think of nothing she would rather do. Pretty illustration. Ballerina. Marie followed the Nutcracker to the closet where he revealed a hidden ladder. Marie was just small enough to climb up the ladder and soon found herself standing in a sweet-smelling meadow. "This is Candy Meadow," said the Nutcracker. "Now we will travel through all of Toyland and on our way to Marzipan Castle in the city of Sweets. That is where I live. Oh, and Toyland was marvelous. They passed through almond and raisin gateway. They watched a charming ballet. They went by Orange Brook and River Lemonade and past Gingerbread City on the Honey River. In each of these places, Marie saw the most amazing things. Houses and whole villages made out of all manner of sweets, and the friendliest of people that you could ever hope to meet. They were creatures of all kinds, and they were dancing and laughing about in the merriest way. They've got dolphins attached to it. They finally came to a rose-colored lake. Nutcracker summoned a jeweled gondola pulled by dolphins to take them across the water. Oh, and under a moonlit sky, they glided over the lake. There ahead lay the city of Sweets and the Marzipan Castle, where they arrived. What do you think Marie saw? Only the most beautiful houses made of brightly colored candies, and a marketplace full of delicious sweets that made her mouth water. Nutcracker took Marie up to his castle, where she met all the ladies of the house, and the royal pages and such. Everyone was so nice that Marie decided she would never leave. They had a wonderful meal of hundreds of candies and desserts, and then Marie started to yawn and rubbed her eyes. Can you blame her? She had been through quite a bit of excitement, to say the least, and she had probably eaten a bit too much candy. Indeed, Marie did fall fast asleep to the sound of her beloved Nutcracker talking. And when she awoke, she was in her own bed. Oh, it just couldn't have been a dream, she said sadly. But what was this in her hand? Why, the 7 tiny gold crowns that Nutcracker had given her. Many, many years later, Marie sat in the living room, gazing at her old beloved Nutcracker in the glass cabinet. Oh, Nutcracker, she said, if only you were really alive, I would love you just as you are. I don't think you are ugly. I think you are handsome. Just then, Marie's mother came in. Sit up like a proper young lady, she said. Papa Drosselmeyer's nephew is here to meet you. Who? Said Marie, sitting up very straight indeed. In came a handsome young man. He smiled, walked over, and took Marie's hand in his own. Oh, sweet Marie, he said, I am really alive. You were kind and gentle enough to say that you would love me just as I am, and so here I am. Now, would you do me the honor of becoming my wife and queen of all Toyland? Nutcracker, is it really you? Whispered Marie. Of course I will. Well, that's an interesting twist. She's all grown up now. Ah, dear children, who can say how such things happen in this world, and in the world of toys and dreams? Who can say how love creates its own magic? And who can say whether Queen Marie and her beloved King Nutcracker rule over Toyland to this very day? If you have the eyes and the heart for it, dear children, perhaps someday you will visit Toyland, and then you can say. Says it's based on the tale by ETA Hoffmann, adapted by Bethany, Snyder, and illustrated by Pat Thompson. Says the Nutcracker. Welcome to the world of the Nutcracker, a place of wonder and toys and treats, where young Marie becomes a queen and dreams and wishes come true. Well, that's kind of a synopsis of the book. Thank you for watching, and tell me what your favorite holiday story is. Comment below.